Hi everyone, this is the setup video for the first lab on the ideal gas law. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give you a little startup as far as doing each of the labs, and then we'll go through a setup, show you how to set up and do everything with the ideal gas law lab. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the lab manual. So you can find a link to the lab manual in the Moodle page under the section UWW section labs, and it will take you here. And so this is the press book that will have all of the instructions. So if you click on, when you get to this link, you click on read book, okay, and immediately it'll take you to the first section of the book. Okay, so if you look over here on the left side, there's a contents menu, and if you click on that, you'll see the first part is called IO Lab Setup. So all of the labs are going to use the IO Lab device, and so you're going to want to, first thing before you even start the first lab, is actually go through these 3 pages. All right, so the first one is called installing the software. And so there's a link to the software that you can download. There's also a couple of videos here, depending on if you have a Mac or Windows. And these were created by the creator of the IO Lab device, and he kind of walks you through how to get everything installed. And then the second section is called Calibrating the Hardware. So you're gonna want to go to there, and then this video in here will show you how to calibrate the sensors that you're going to need for the labs you're going to do. And so there's this one sensor here. You'll see it's called Excel, Magen, Gyro. So that's the only sensor you're going to need to calibrate for the labs for this course. You can calibrate the force sensor, but you really don't need to for this course. And then the final part of contents is looking at your data. So you should look at this video. It's just a few minutes long, and it kind of walks you through what the software looks like, how to use it, what do all the buttons mean. Okay, and this will really help you as you get into doing your actual labs. This will help a lot if you just take a few minutes to go through this video. Okay, and then the second section is the lab assignments. So right now it's just the first lab. It is posted on there, and so you click on that. And I'm making this video right now, but once you actually go to this page in the book, you will see the first thing you'll see is a link to this video you're watching. So that's the only difference you're seeing here versus what you saw when you clicked on blank. Okay. There's also a button here that you could download the lab report worksheet. This is in Word, Microsoft Word. If you want to use it, if you want to fill out the document in Apple Pages, you'll have to go to the Moodle page, and the Apple Pages will be there too, as well as the Microsoft Word version of the document. For some reason, it wouldn't let me upload the Pages version right directly here. Okay, and all the instructions are going to be in here, and I try to give some pictures to help you see what it is I'm talking about, and then I think the video will really help you. I'll point things out in the video that are kind of hard to describe in words or see in the pictures, and so that will help you definitely get set up and try to clear up any confusions as to what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so the instructions walk you through what you're actually supposed to do, but make sure you're not just answering the questions that I pose in the instructions, because there's also in the lab report document, the worksheet, there's going to be additional questions that will help you think about and analyze everything you did here. Okay, so it's really important to follow those instructions in the lab report worksheet. That's what you're going to upload to Moodle. That's what you're going to be graded on. Okay, so now let's move over to the software and take a look at that. And And so you should already have done this if you've looked at all those other videos, setting up the iLab device in that section. But just quickly, I'll go through that just as a second time to look at that. And so on the back of the device, you have your dongle that you just pop out, and you need a USB port to plug that into. And now you see that once that's plugged in, you can see up here, it says that it's paired, okay? And then if I press the power button, then the light should blink, and you can see up on the software, it says connected, okay? So in this lab, you're going to use two of the sensors. You're going to use the barometer sensor. So if you look at the left here, it's in alphabetical order. So you click on barometer, and then to actually get the, this will tell you what the current atmospheric pressure is where you currently are. So this will be different for everybody doing the lab depending on where you are, and it changes even if you're in the same building. It will change depending on which floor you're on. So what you'll do is you'll just click record, and then you'll see that it's recording at about 100 kilopascals. You see the units up there, kPa. And then we can just do that for a few seconds and click stop. And then it automatically, you're on this little, the three little bars here. It's automatically on this mode, where if you press the cursor down here and move it around, it'll tell you the time, it'll tell you the pressure during that, at that particular time. And it's pretty constant, you could see here, which we would expect. And we could just click and drag over a few seconds. And then it highlights this region, and then it gives us all kinds of data. And so the data you want to use for this lab is this Greek letter mu here, okay? And so this quantity gives you the average of whatever you highlight. Okay, so it's about 100.599 kilopascals. Okay, and then when we do the temperature portion of the lab, when you're going to read the temperature of the room, you click reset and then reset again, and now you'll be able to check off the thermometer sensor. Okay, and it's pretty simple, just like the barometer. We'll click record for a few seconds. We'll see it's pretty constant. We'll click stop. We'll click and drag over that region. And again, we'll look for the mu, the average. Okay, so 22.523 degrees Celsius. Okay, so usually room temperature is about 20 degrees Celsius. And so it might vary depending on where you are though. Okay, and so let me now, that's basically the two things you're going to use the iLab device for in this lab. So now I'll just kind of walk you through what you're going to do, some of the things you should look out for, help you understand what you're supposed to do a little bit better. So back in the instructions, well, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your syringe from your kit, and it comes like this. So the syringe has three parts. First, I'll unscrew the cap. Okay, and then once the cap's unscrewed, I could actually pull the piston or the plunger out of the actual cylinder of the syringe. And so I have to give it a little tug to come out, but that'll be fine. Okay, or you don't really even need to take that out. But what you want to do is you definitely want to take the cap off. You can see it's a little tough to put back on. And I'm going to set it so that the bottom of the piston is at 6 milliliters. So you can see the units on here are milliliters. And I will take the piston out again just to show you the bottom of it. It's kind of this cone kind of shape. But what I'm going to do is, and maybe the picture actually shows it better in figure 2, but I actually use red arrows to show you what I mean by what I'm calling the bottom of the piston, and it's just the where the first flat part of it starts. Okay, and so that's what I'll try to align that as best I can with the 6 milliliter mark. Okay, and then once I do that, I'm going to put the cap back on, and then I'm going to give the syringe just a push and let it release it, let it retract back, and it'll slowly retract back and finally come to a stop. And then what you'll do is you read that stop there. So you see I put it at 6 millimeters initially, but I compressed it, and now I'm at about 5.5 milliliters. Okay, so now we actually have a volume of the air that's in the cylinder. Okay, and we saw it expanded to fill up the air, the space that it could occupy. Okay, so that's where we're going to start. Okay, and then you're going to want to record this in your lab report document. What's this initial volume of the air? And then step 3 here, we'll see this is where we'll actually use, you'll actually use a barometer to determine what's the atmospheric pressure in the room. Okay, and you'll use that to calculate the pressure on the air inside the syringe. Okay, and then so there's a couple of things here you're going to want to do, help you walking you through making this calculation. Okay, make sure you then you'll take the temperature with the thermometer sensor, and make sure you're always using SI units when you're calculating. Okay, that's important because you can really easily make a mistake very easily if you don't focus on that. Make sure you're keeping your SI units consistent. Okay, and then in the second part of the lab, you're going to first you're going to get some hot water. So if you get some hot water from the faucet, you'll probably be fine. You probably will see a difference. If you don't see a difference, or if you just want to go straight to microwaving the water, that'll show you a bigger distance too. Okay, and so what we'll do here is I just grabbed a cup of water, and so with your hot water, and you'll do the same thing when you do the ice water. You basically put the syringe in there, and you're going to want to hold it. If you just place it in there, it's going to bob up, and it might not really be submerged all the way. So you want to make sure that the portion of the syringe that has the air in it, that part is submerged. Okay, and you just hold it there for a minute or two, and you should see a noticeable difference in the volume. Okay, and then from this, you're going to be able to determine what's the temperature of the hot water. Okay, and then before you move on to the cold water portion, you're going to want to kind of reset it here. Okay, basically, you're just going to want to let this return to room temperature, so make sure it's out of the hot water for a minute or two. Okay, and then so that we get a similar starting point, we'll put the piston back at 6 milliliters again. All right, just like we did in the first part of part 1, and we'll give that a push and see what the new volume is, and it should be the same or very close to what you had in part 1, right? So I'm seeing about 5.5 milliliters again. Okay, so you're gonna want to make sure you do that before you do the ice water portion. Okay, just the same as the hot water portion, but you'll just get some water with ice, submerge it for a minute or two, and you'll see another change. Okay, but what the only difference with the cold water is you're probably going to want to just give it a little push. Okay, just to give it some help. Okay, because there's a little bit of friction in the piston, and so it might not be moving all the way as good as it did with the hot water. So if you just give it a little push, let it retract and come to rest again, then you should get a good reading. Okay, and so that's pretty much everything. I think I could show you that you actually have to physically do and do with the software. And so make sure that you fill out the whole worksheet completely, do all those calculations, watch out for your SI units. Make sure to if you're not sure about something, make sure to show all your work, and that will ensure that it give you the most amount of credit for something. If you get something wrong and I don't see any calculations, then I can't give you any partial credit. So make sure to show as much as you can, especially if you're not sure. Okay, and that's it for the setup for lab 1.